I'd like to thank everyone who is here tonight joining us, returnings, not returnings, new people. And we're about to start. Final reminder that this is a game intended for a mature audience. Basically, if it's terrible and does not include harm to children, we're probably going to do it. So, we do have a line. We have a line. We have a line that we won't cross. But that being said, my friends, if everybody's ready, let us dive in to episode 3 of Severed. Last game you had, along with the Cardinal Santiago, had participated in a ritual that created a vinculum, a blood bond amongst the pack, making sure that you have some form of loyalty to each other. The vinculum basically means that you won't attack each other, but you can still be quite unpleasant to each other if you want. But the vinculum is basically the only reason why the Sabbat train keeps rolling on, because without that, it would probably crumble under its own weight. You travel to a prison, which during the pandemic had been used as a blood farm, where they kept humans that they harvested off the street to provide a steady supply of blood to vampires. But in the meantime, it had been taken over by a Bali, a vampire who worships infernal creatures named Sma. And Sma had turned it into a bit of a different type of blood farm, basically creating a whole bunch of vampires and feeding them blood and then selling that blood to other vampires who showed up needing blood. So that was a little bit more of a kind of a weird situation. When you got there, Carter lost his marbles and basically killed everyone and everything, or just about, that was in that room, as you were looking for a vampire, a Ravnos called Silver. The Cardinal had asked you to go and find Silver because he wants you to go into Chicago and find a missing member of a Black Hand pack, and Silver apparently knows who this vampire is and where they are. You arrive to find that for some unexplained treachery, Silver had been crucified upside down, impaled on a metal cross, and, well, Carter did what Carter does, basically kill everyone. At that time, both Francis and Lydia heard voices calling to them, saying their name. They were drawn downstairs into the lower areas of the prison, into a more ancient part of the prison. And there you encountered 3 kindred, possibly 3 witches, who said that they wanted to speak with you. And the very last thing that we saw last time was that one of them had a third eye opened in her forehead. With that, my friends, let us begin tonight's session as Francis and Lydia are downstairs with the witches, and Archie and Carter are in the main room surrounded by dead bodies and blood. But before we begin, I would like to read you a short section from the poem The Voice of the Devil by William Blake. Those who restrain desire do so because theirs is weak enough to be restrained. And the restrainer, or reason, usurps its place and governs the unwilling. And being restrained, it by degrees becomes passive till it is only the shadow of desire. The history of this is written in Paradise Lost, and the governor of reason is called Messiah. The original archangel or possessor of the command of the heavenly host is called the devil, or Satan, and his children are called sin and death. But in the book of Job, Milton's Messiah is called Satan. For this history has been adopted by both parties. Francis and Lydia, you have descended downstairs into a more ancient, blocked off part of the prison. There you have found these 3 witches, 3 kindred, presumably, surrounded by burning candles, incense burners. One of them, the leader, the one who spoke first to you, whose voice you heard in your head, as she looks at you, has opened a third eye in the middle of her forehead. before we continue, let's see if you know anything about this third eye situation. Would you roll me an occult roll? So you can roll your intelligence plus occult. You would be looking for 7s. Hey, Cujo Plays Games. As an aside, both Kato and I tomorrow will be on Cujo Plays Games playtesting Daggerheart, the new Darrington Press.
The Crit Hit Chronicles.
That's right.
Yes.
So join us tomorrow night as we take that on. I play a robot because,
And I play a rogue, surprising no one.
Surprising no one whatsoever.
I got 2 critical successes and 1 regular type success.
And I got 3 regular successes.
All right. You have heard of these vampires. They are called salubri. The salubri are very rare. The rumor persists that only 7 of them exist in the world. The other rumors say that while they are a very ancient clan and used to be very powerful, that over the years, due to a lot of mistrust, they have been slowly decimated. With your critical successes, Lydia, I will say that you also know that a big part of this is because the big rumor is that their founder, Solot, was the vampire who was diablerized by the Tremere, who used his blood to become a vampire clan themselves, and then started spreading rumors about the Salubri being evil and the spawns of Satan, so that people would mistrust them and destroy them. Those are rumors. Do with them what you will. But your number one instinct would be to mistrust. Very likely a Salubri. You've likely never met one in your lives, unlives even. As I said, they are extremely rare.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to reach out for Lydia's wrist. I don't think we should be here.
Yeah, I don't think we should be here either, but when was the last time you met a Salubri?
Don't tempt me with knowledge.
I assure you that what I am has little to do with the reasons why we have called you here. Please, come close. You're perfectly safe.
Sure, yeah. I'll stay right here. Whatever you have to tell us, you can tell us from here.
I bring words to you, words of wisdom perhaps, that may guide you in the long nights ahead. As she does this, she is lighting candles. You can see that there are on the ground in front of them a set of 8 candles, 4 black ones and 4 red ones. And she is lighting them one by one. Hey, darling. Hey, Insomnia. She's lighting them one by one. As she lights them, you can see that these candles have images engraved in them. In pairs, black, red, black, red, black, red, black, red. 2 of them have what appears to be some sort of wolf's paw engraved in them. 2 have snakes. 2 have moons, and 2 have hands with an eye in the middle that is bleeding. As she speaks, she lights all these candles. Lines are drawn across eons and epochs, dominoes that fall, events that orbit each other connected. This path you are now on began long ago in a temple in the city of Constantinople. And it is a plan over 1,000 years in the making, one that comes to fruition these nights. I am here to tell you, however, that your futures, and she points to each of you, are linked. We live in a new dark age, and the shroud of shadows is all-encompassing. These are the nights when the ancients stir in their deep sepulchres, and their awakening is nigh. They will hunger, a hunger more ferocious and unquenchable than any since Cain first hungered for death. Such darkness slumbers beneath Chicago now. It is ancient, protean, ever-changing, and hungers oh so very much. It moves pawns across the board. You are such, as are we three, as is your cardinal. She reaches out and she snuffs out one of the serpent candles, the black one. The long night begins. The cardinal sees it as an empty womb, pregnant but birthing only nothingness, a void that will consume all. But it could be more, has been more, shall be more. It began 1,000 years ago, and now it is here. 4 lights. One is now snuffed out. 4 shadows, one for each light, for how can we know light without darkness, darkness without light? Once all 4 lights are dark, the shadows disappear also. The long night is upon us. The one you seek for the cardinal will extinguish these lights. Unless you, she points again to the 2 of you, decide otherwise. The one you seek for the cardinal is a weapon, one that can be used against the light, or turned toward the cardinal himself. And you must decide. Such decisions bear weight. And so we, the Hecate, give each of you a gift in compensation. The eye in her forehead opens again. Her other eyes close. I am Sabbat, glory of the morning. And this I tell you. And her eye turns towards Lydia. Your creator is bound in chains. And this one who stands next to you holds the key. Her eye turns to Francis. The jailer is your creator's enemy. And this enemy is the shadow that stalks the one who holds your attention. Your fates are intertwined. The eye closes. The 2 of you come to. You are lying on the floor, entwined with each other, your legs entwined to each other, your arms wrapped around each other. There are vines, tree branches, flowers that have grown and ensnared you, entrapped you, are entwined with you. As you open your eyes, face to face with the other, you see that the other has a third eye drawn in ash on their forehead. There's nobody else in the room with you.
You have a little something, and like trying to move an arm from around you and like try to brush it away for you.
Oh. You do too. Looks like an eyeball.
We're quite poetic. Should we move?
Probably. I can't imagine we're safe here.
I don't really want Carter to see us like this anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure he will get loads of ideas, so.
Squirm.
Yeah, kind of gingerly.
You break free easily of the vines and whatnot. You stand up and dust yourself. You realize the only thing that is left in the room with you, and the floor is entirely overgrown and covered with these branches and vines and whatnot, but you do see the 8 candles, 7 of them still burning around you.
Do you think we should tell them what happened?
No, I don't.
No?
At least not Carter.
Okay.
You know, he's got that whole thing.
He has a few things, it seems like. No, okay. All right, so keep it from Carter. I'm sorry that your fate's tied with mine. That's not the best luck in the world.
Don't sell yourself short.
I'm gonna have to think about what they said.
Yeah. I know these symbols are easily recognizable, but do you recognize them? Do they look familiar to you?
Great question.
I figured book smarts. She got that book learning.
Damn dare book learning.
So you have 2 look like wolf paws, 2 look like serpents, 2 look like moons, and 2 look like hands with an eye in the middle that is bleeding.
I'm gonna start by explaining that as if you didn't understand the iconography. Well, you see this, and this one's a wolf. A wolf paw.
No, that's
a snake.
No, yeah, I that's what I was saying, is that I do understand what they are. I just want to know what they are.
I'm so sorry. You're so smart. Can I go ahead and do some kind of occult roll to see significance thereof?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. Same thing. Intellect with or.
Yeah, you can go for 6s though.
Okay.
Instead of 7s.
Sounds good.
If it's an occult roll, can I jump in on that action?
Yeah, absolutely.
You said
No success with a 1.
oh boy.
No success with a 1, right?
And it's intelligence plus occult?
Yeah.
Cool.
Although I still have a night move from last time, can I change that to 1 to a...
You can spend a willpower and you can get an automatic success, yes.
Yes.
Not spend a willpower, but spend a night move and get an automatic success.
That's what I would like.
And we're going for 6s?
Yeah.
I would also like to spend a willpower and get an automatic success. But wait, hold on. I got a 1, but I also got a 10. And then I got a 9 and a 7.
So hold on. So you got a 10, a 9, and a 7, and a 1. So the 1's going to cancel out your 10, and then you have your 9, your 7, so you're good. You got 2 successes.
Okay, yes, there we go.
Alex, you need to spend 2 night moves, because 1 to eliminate the 1, and then 1 to get a success.
I just want to mostly avoid the terrifyingness that is the
yeah,
one.
because I'm about to mess with
kill
you.
us all.
Don't get me wrong. Normally, I would just roll with that crit failure, but I know we have these night moves, so I will choose to use that. But I don't necessarily feel the need to get a positive result, though.
All right, Raven Sarah has given you a hail, which gives you a night move, Alex.
Oh, well, okay. Then thank you. We'll go ahead and use that right away.
They don't really mean too much to you. Well, one of them would. Alex, I'll DM you. But Lydia, what you find when you look at them, the wolf and the snake could be anything. More specifically, the ones that kind of stand out to you a bit more are The hand one with the eye bleeding, that is an old symbol that denotes the ability for someone to use magic, usually some kind of dark necromantic or infernal magic, like black magic of some sort. That is a symbol that has been used throughout the ages to denote practitioners of darker arts. The moon could mean anything. I mean, the moon is a feminine symbol, but it is also attached to the notion of lunacy, of moon cycles, of people who are daydreamers, or who are like the Malkavians often are associated with the moon, for example. Anyone who lives in dreams, things of that nature, those symbols would account for them. The wolf's paw, the snake, could mean almost anything, some sort of primitive connection to or more primal connection to something. Could be lupines, could be gangrel. The snake is an almost universal symbol for sometimes healing, medicine, things of that nature, but also sometimes corruption.
You're thinking awfully hard over there.
Sorry, didn't know you could hear it. Anyway, maybe we should. Can I take a look around the room and see if there's all that we see are the candles here? There's nothing else to see.
That's right.
Note? Okay.
That's right.
Well, as much as this has been a very fun cuddle fest, maybe we should get back to the other two.
No, that makes sense. And I think as we start walking, I'm going to start kind of mumble thinking out what those possible symbols would mean. In particular, okay, well, they were already talking about us and our fates being linked. Maybe they're supposed to be representative of other people or persons. They were talking about the lights need to be extinguished, but also not extinguished. There's two sides to things. Wow. And just kind of mumbling to self about it.
And I'm catching like bits and pieces of this, and I'm like, right, no, there's four of us, and I think we all have a choice.
No, that makes sense. You're right, that makes sense.
Good side, bad side.
One of them was already extinguished, though.
Which one was extinguished again?
The black candle with the snake on it.
Okay. Interesting. Well, let's just screenshot that and put it in our mind bank and make our way out of here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Do you need me to repeat what she told you also, or are you good?
Oh, probably.
Yes, but also it could be later.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you now so you can cogitate on it. She said to Lydia, your creator is bound in chains. And this one, pointing to Francis, holds the key. And to Francis, she said, the jailer is your creator's enemy. And this enemy is the shadow that stalks the one who holds your attention.
Okay. Francis, before we go.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a kindred named Emmerich?
I don't think so. No.
You have not.
Okay. Just curious.
Is that the one that they mentioned?
No. No.
Okay. We'll get it figured. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Your brains and my tenacity.
What a combo.
Anyway,
yeah.
I like dust myself off. I'm in Louboutins and I've got twigs all over me.
You look great as ever. Okay, I'm leaving.
Okay. I'm gonna let Francis leave a little bit ahead of me, and I'm just gonna take one last cursory glance at one last glance at the candles and just kind of imprint it.
Not a problem. As you do, you hear kind of an echo coming down almost from far away. And you hear, Lydia, they're coming. They're coming. They are coming.
Okay. Well, this is freaking me out. And I just follow.
Meanwhile, upstairs, Archie and Carter, you are in the main prison room. You are surrounded by about 7 or 8 dead bodies. Most about half vampire, about half ghoul. Because we don't know how much blood you have left, you have to be more assiduous in keeping track of how much blood you've used, and you have, because right now on your character sheets you all are all at full, which I know you're not. So we'll let it go for now, but be careful with that in the future. I will say that you are not necessarily, the beast is not, kind of coming to the surface, but you're definitely feeling it. Imagine yourself being in a room, a buffet with all the best smelling food in the world. Even if you're not that hungry, you'd be like, man, this shit smells good. So you are currently standing amidst a whole bunch of destroyed bodies. The kindred who are in the prisons, the ones that were being used to feed people, are grabbing altar bars like, release us, come on, help us, you gotta let us out of here. Some of them are kind of freaking out because they were hungry, and you can see that the beast has taken hold of them. So I'd say there's maybe 4 or 5 in the different cages that are clearly in frenzy, and they're like pulling at the bars and slamming themselves against them, just trying to reaching out with their hands, trying to get some of the blood that are on the ground. One of them has managed to grab a leg and pulled it close and is feeding on it, and the others, there's just this generalized kind of chaos and pandemonium going on with all these people screaming and all this blood everywhere and these pieces of bodies on the ground. And of course, Silver, who is still spiked upside down, hanging out, literally with his cock out.
Is there a chain or anything like that that's holding up him aloft?
No, the servant verdict cross thing has been kind of spiked into the ground.
Oh, I just go over and kick that son of a bitch over.
You kick it and it kind of like halfway down.
Is he reachable at this point though?
Yeah.
I immediately start trying to pull him down.
You start playing, he starts screaming as you drag him off this thing. It leaves blood behind as you see that metal pole disappear inside his body, and you manage to kind of pull him all off, and he falls to the ground, and he's shaking, and you can tell that he's on the verge of frenzying, like he's got no blood left, and he's like in utter pain. And really, it's just the fact that he's in so much aggravated damage that he's not pouncing on you or anything, but you can definitely see that the beast is there. His eyes are red, his fangs are out, the freaking ossature of his face has started to shift to become very kind of bestial.
I pop a talon and I slit my forearm and put it to his mouth. Quit being a bitch.
He grabs at your arm, sinks his fangs into you, and just starts to pull, and he starts drinking. Now, he's not necessarily going to stop, so you give me an idea of how much you're going to let him take, and then we'll see what happens.
Mechanically speaking, I'll let him take 5 points.
Okay, that's quite a bit. So what I'll do is this. I'll give him a roll to see if he calms down with the 5 points, and if not, he's probably going to try to drink more. He does not. As you try to pull your arm back, he clamps onto it, and his fingers dig into your arm, and he's just pulling and pulling and pulling.
I very much punch him basically in the side of the head to break his lock.
You punch him out, you feel his nose break, blood sprays everywhere. He heals back. Your arm, it rips, his fangs just rip a huge chunk of flesh out of your arm, and he kind of falls back. Archie, what are you doing?
Just watching this happen. Just kind of behind Carter, some distance, just like, I'm just gonna let this play out.
He kind of scrambles away, and he's like a wounded beast, like a wounded dog. He's like off in a corner, kind of all scrunched up, just kind of trembling, his fangs out, and he's still like really like just on the verge of frenzying. There's blood just pouring freely out of his body. He's obviously kind of too far gone right now to think and concentrate to heal himself.
I grab a dismembered body part, whether it's an arm or a leg that's close by, and kind of just walk over to him and squat down, and I toss it at him and I go, please get yourself together. The faster you do, the faster we can get the hell out of here.
So you're pretty sure that's not gonna cut it. Like, just telling him to do that is probably not gonna do anything. Do you want to try something? You want to try dominating him, or do you want to try...
I'm gonna try dominating, yeah.
Do you have them? Oh yeah, you got dominate coming out of your behind.
Yeah.
All right, so give me a your intelligence plus your discipline.
Okay. Cool. That's 3 successes.
I totally messed that up. Which should have been manipulation, intimidation, but it's fine. We'll keep it as is.
I can do you want me to?
No, it's cool. Don't worry about it. So you reach out, try to get to his mind. You see it's just shrouded in this red veil of the beast that's just like, making him kind of panic, and you sort of force your way through it, and eventually you reach like what you figure is mine, and you order him to come down, and as you do, you can feel that red fog, that red mist around his mind kind of start to dissipate a little bit, and he starts calming down, and he looks at you, and he closes his eyes, and you can see the blood that was dripping out from his nether region start to stop as he heals himself. And then with a bit more control, he crawls over on all fours and reaches another body and sinks his teeth into it and just starts to drink. And he's just lying there in the middle of this charnel house, just drinking from this other body and kind of calming down slowly. The people in the cages have kind of stopped and are staring, except for the ones that are in frenzy. They're still kind of banging on the cage doors and whatnot, but the others are all kind of staring at this situation and kind of enthralled by what's going on.
Good. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over to one of the non-frenzied cages and kind of talk to them. Okay, you want to get out of here? Give me your clothes.
Man.
Give me your clothes.
Yeah, sure. And they take off whoever you're talking takes off the kind of jumpsuit that they were wearing and pushes it through the bars.
Thank you.
Anything, man. Let me just get out of here. What the fuck is this nightmare place?
Exactly that. It's a nightmare. And then kind of just like about faces and goes right back over to Silver and go, here, put these on.
Thanks. He starts pulling them on very painfully. God damn it.
Yeah, that's gonna be tender for a bit.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, you have every right. Yeah, that's not good. Long story short, we need to get you out of here because we do. And we will explain more once we are in a vehicle and about 10 miles away from this place.
Whoa. What? What do you want with me?
I want to get you out of here. Yeah, and we will explain more once we are in a vehicle 10 miles away from this place.
Who the fuck are you guys?
There's a lot of questions with you. We're the guy. Well, no, he is. I was here to watch. We're the guys who got you off that pike.
Yeah, but like until a minute ago, I was on that pike. So you'll excuse me if my fucking bedside manner right now is out the fucking window because, well, I've been hanging on that thing for God knows how long now. And I'm not in the best state of mind I've ever been in. I hope you understand that, right? You look in my eyes, you understand I'm not in a proper fucking frame of mind, right?
And yet you are still here asking questions of those who took you off the pike.
I'm a suspicious motherfucker by nature. What do you want me to tell you?
We can put you back on.
Shut the fuck up. The Cardinal sends his regards.
The what?
You know exactly what I mean. Let's go.
Fuck, can I go back on the cross?
Nope.
Ugh.
At this point, maybe.
We gotta get these people out of here, man. They can't stay in there. Like this is fucked up, man. We can't leave them in there.
No, they'll stay here, and somebody else will deal with them. We can't exactly let a whole herd of baby fangs running the fuck around the city. Like, listen, I'm all for a whole bunch of rioting, but not of that kind.
Well, I'm getting my cousin out of here, man, and you can fucking try to stop me if you want. He gets up and he walks over to where the guard shack thing is with the release for the prison cell.
Oh, hold on there. Which one is your cousin's? You're not gonna be flipping switches. Okay.
It's that one, number 7.
Okay. Is number 7 frenzied?
No. It's like, you gotta get me out of here, cuz. I'm working on it, Tito. Point.
I'm gonna go over to Tito and I'm just gonna be like, can you keep your composure?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I've been through like some pretty fucked up shit in the past few weeks.
I'm not convinced. And he turns away and he keeps walking.
Come on, man. Silver's still going.
It's simple.
He's looking for the keys to unlock the thing.
All right. Carter, what do you think? I leave it to you.
Oh, well, now that I have your permission. He just goes over and he lets Tito out of the fucking cell. He might get hungry later after all.
There's
Silver
plenty of
comes
snacks
over.
everywhere. Grab an arm.
Him and his cousin, getting timbers. Sorry, man, I tried to get you out of here. I know, man. I know I saw what you went through, man. What the fuck is this place? Who are these people, man? It's fucked up. So I'll tell you everything. I'll explain everything, man. And they're kind of...
Everything?
As you say that, the door opens and Francis and Lydia walk into the room. You walk in to see Silver off the cross and hugging one of the other inmates, and your two friends staring at them. And
Yeah, well.
Looks like one big happy.
That's... Yeah. I hate to break up this family reunion, but we should be going.
I ain't going anywhere until you tell me what the fuck you want with me. Like, we can just get out of here. You guys can go your own way. Look, thanks and all. I'm sure that this was not altruistic. I'm sure that this was not altruistic in any way, shape, or form. Right? Ulterior motives, right?
Okay. Who wants to take this one?
We're on orders from the Cardinal.
Yeah, that one said that also. I don't fucking clue what a cardinal is. So, maybe draw me a picture, like give me something. Was it fucking charade? Give me some fucking hints, something.
You found something.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
You found something. Something we're looking for. And you're gonna tell us where it's at. Or you're gonna become the next Happy Meal.
Fucking what? Your mother's underwear? What?
That's pretty good.
You're gonna have to give me more to work with. I've taken a lot of shit in my time. I found a lot of stuff. That's kind of what I do.
Carter reaches out. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. Silver is Camarilla?
You don't know. You just know that he's a Ravnos, who are usually independent.
Okay, so he has no idea who the Cardinal is, apparently. Or he's feigning that way. Okay, I just want to clarify. I was like...
I reach out and like grab him by his little like makeshift tracksuit that he's wearing right now and pull him in and just very, very low into his ear. Don't fuck around. We know you know, and you're gonna tell us everything.
He gives you a smile and he goes, you look like you need a reality adjustment. You want me to change your reality? You want me to make it permanent? Because I can do that, and you're going to fucking hate that. So take your fucking paws off of me, and we're going to be friends. I don't mind helping you, but I need to know what you need. Right now, you're not fucking telling me anything. You're talking about the fucking Cardinal, about something, blah, blah, blah. It could be a million fucking things. So if you don't want me to change your reality to make you think that you're a fucking plastic plant.
I've never been a plant before.
Well, we can make that happen. And believe you me, I can make sure that you understand what you are and what's going on.
You know, I like him. I really like him.
Not now, Lydia.
Come on, give him a little bit more, Carter. Play a little ball.
You found someone who went missing, we're told. You found something or someone.
Carter, don't be cagey anymore. Come on.
Yeah.
Fine. You found a goon from a hit squad that was sent into your fucking town of Chicago, and you're going to show us a way to get in, and you're going to tell us where they're at.
There it is.
Oh, the Black Hand Assassin.
Good
Yeah,
to
I would
know.
have used that.
I wouldn't have.
You could have led with that.
He's our
And
public
G-
relations manager.
You also could have been a White Sox fan, but here we are.
Hey, man, White Sox forever, buddy.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. I know who you're talking about. Her name's Ophelia.
And
Well, and what? I haven't seen her in years. I found her, sure. A couple of us went down to talk to some fucking Malky called Professor something or other, Professor Xavier. I don't know what the fuck his name was. Anyways, he's in some dungeon down in the fucking like some hospital, some mental hospital that's all like fucked up in downtown Chicago, and he's like living down there, and we had to go down there for the boss to trade him something, and then we went into this other room and there was this fucking werewolf there. It was really fucked up. We had to fucking kill the werewolf, and there she was like encased in this cement thing, and we had to break her out of there because we couldn't handle the fucking werewolf. So, you know, I did my duty. I fucking gave her some blood. She woke up, got her out of the cement block, managed to kill that werewolf thing or whatever that was down there, and, you know, brought her home to meet the boss.
who's the boss?
My old boss. Name's Bahari.
Huh. And you said you haven't seen her in years?
Yeah, look, it got kind of weird at some point.
How weird.
Okay, well, look. We found Ophelia. The boss bloodbound her. Then we went through this whole rigmarole I had to help her with. She needed to get 35 fresh kills, like, and very specific victims too, like males, age 16 to 20, white, preferably East European descent. Fucking pain in the ass. I had to fucking go around, get those guys, bring them in, fucking kill them. She do this weird ass fucking ritual thing, drain their blood. We were in this strange kind of cistern underground, like buried under that hospital. It was fucking slow going, man, like getting all those fucking bodies. And we got up to 33. And then some Nosferatu dipshit named Drex stumbled in upon us. And we got shut down because then the other Nosferatu started sniffing around. No one wants to mess with fucking Baptiste, right?
Who?
Baptiste, the Nosferatu Scourge in Chicago. Anyways, look, I got out of there. That was in 2019, I want to say 2018, 2019. I got out of there, man. I just fucking started roaming around. When the pandemic hit, I was in Miami. You want to talk about fucking hell on earth? Fucking Florida and the fucking pandemic. Fucked up.
Is Batiste still walking? Far as you know.
Oh yeah, as far as I know, that guy's fucking all over that place, man.
Carter,
I ran into him like a year later. That's why I got out of town. We fucking had a meeting with the boss and this other whatever, this new vampire that's in some occult shop or something. I don't know, the boss has got a thing for her. We met in this bar, and then the Tremere regent showed up, and then this fucking other Tremere Sabbat hunter showed up. He attacked the boss. Batiste showed up. Fucking everything went to hell. I got the fuck out of Dodge, and I never looked back.
So this Bahari is the last person you know to interact with Ophelia.
Well, Ophelia's bound to her now.
She's what?
Bloodbound. Bahari bloodbound her.
He did mention that.
It was a pain in the ass too, because you know those Assamites, man, they can't take your kindred blood. So, man, that bitch was in some fucking pain. Let me fucking tell you. But, you know, the boss pretty hardcore. I don't know what happened after. I don't know if they ever got their 35 kills or whatever, but I mean, I could take you down to that cistern if you want. You don't want to go through the hospital, that Edgewater hospital. You don't want to go through there, man. Those Malkavians are fucking cooped up in there. They got some weird shit going on in there, man. They're like trying to summon the light of God or some dumb bullshit like that down there. Anyways, look, you want to fucking avoid the place, but, you know, I can get you in if you want. I know some byways.
What do you think, Carter?
Well,
That's where she used to lair, Ophelia.
it's the only thing we've got so far. Seems we're going to Chicago and trying to dig up a Bahari. Or not, yes.
Well, good luck with that. I mean, once we're in Chicago, I can take you there, but getting into Chicago now since the pandemic, we're fucking impossible. The Scourge, the fucking Gangrel, the human minions of the Prince, man. They got that place sewn up like nobody's business.
Okay, well, if you're Switzerland about it, how do you get in and out? Because you're Switzerland?
I'm Ravnos. I go wherever the fuck I want.
Ravnos. All right, well, how do you get us in?
I don't get you in
Fuck's sake.
to the place. But you gotta fucking sort out amongst yourself how we're gonna get into Chicago.
I could get us in.
What's that?
I could probably get us in.
I'm sorry, this must be my trick ear. Francis, have you been able to get us in here this whole time?
We had a directive, and seemed like getting silver was a little bit more important than a bus ride. And he also had so much information that we wouldn't have had previously. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not even looking at you. Okay, great. How do we get in?
There's a shuttle from campus.
A school bus?
I'm not taking no fucking bus.
A fucking school bus?
It's worked for me.
Tread lightly,
That is-
tread lightly, tread lightly.
That is the stupidest thing ever, and it just might work. Good Lord.
We can try if we like to get you all, perhaps student passes, because I have a student pass, but might be easier if I just talk to the driver. We're friendly, I guess, but not really.
They are coming. They are coming.
Is that for all of us?
Coming. You realize the inmates, all of them, now at the same time, they're all kneeling by the doors of their cages. Their mouths are moving, and occasionally you hear their voices in unison kind of echo through the chain. They are coming. They are coming. The temperature is dropping. It's getting kind of cold in here. The light is dimming. They are here. The inmates start this kind of strange guttural throat chant. And when you look, you see shadows moving on the walls, and more disturbing is out by where the body of Tsma is. There's a figure there. It's difficult to see if it's male or female or what, but it's wearing a black shroud. And it is kneeling next to the body of Tsma the Bali. And it is kind of placing it. The chanting is rising in the room. You feel a sense of very dark malevolence that is emanating from everywhere in the room around you. Desires. Your hearts are filled with them. I can taste them. I can smell them. Now, you know who the real master is. His voice is not coming from the figure, but it's kind of echoing and emanating all around you. On their knees, the inmates are still swaying, these strange guttural chanting coming from their throats. Look to the shadow and tell me your heart's desires. You see the shadows on the walls are taking shapes. They're moving. They're your shadows at first, and then they start to transform and to change. The lights have dimmed. You're like in a slight circle of light. The prison has become almost evanescent and non-existent in the shadows around you. You feel surrounded by very old, very unsettling presence. As you gaze out around you, the shadows seem to take on lives around them. As you gaze at them, each of you sees reflected in them your heart's deepest desire. Can you describe to us what your character sees? Note that only you see this, the others don't.
I see Teddy. Blood-soaked and blood-stained.
I see Emmerich standing, staring, offering his hand to me.
I see Raymond singing, playing the piano, just by himself.
I see myself comfy on a couch with the last 30 pages of Crime and Punishment on a very well-worn book.
As you see these things in the shadows, several things go through you. One, you may be feeling fear, you may be feeling horror, but the depths to which you yearn for these things, it's as if every ounce of want in your body is currently fixated on this one thing. It feels all-encompassing. It feels like there is a massive hole right in the middle of your chest, in the middle of your lives, and the world, in the universe, and that hole can only be filled by that one thing that you see in the shadows. And whether it's the feel of a page under your fingers as you slowly turn it over, finish one and move on to the next one. The words on the page, the ink themselves seeming to beckon you and offer surcease to your mind from all the toils and the worries that you have, whether it's the smooth, soft voice of someone you care deeply for singing that song, that one song that never fails to reach the deepest part of you, whether it's your lost child, the one you never thought would survive, the one that you find yourself obsessed with now because of the cost that came with creating that child and being forced to abandon them, or whether it's the feel of a hand on the back of your neck, giving you sure guidance, supporting you, offering you all the help and understanding you need to achieve your vision. These things now seem more important than life itself. As you look away from the shadows, you see the figure that is kneeling next to the body of Tsma. The body has been laid out, clothes removed. The shadow moves away from it. And the thought in your mind is, what a waste. You can smell her power. She is more powerful than you. Her blood is closer to Cain's than yours is. It calls out to you. It beckons you. You can taste the power on the tip of your tongue. You can feel it flooding through you. You can feel it bringing you closer to that thing you want more than anything else. You can feel your fangs digging deep into its skin, piercing the flesh. A kiss more intimate than any immortal could ever know. The blood flooding your mouth, filling your throat, filling you with ancient power. And it's right there for the taking. The shadow has moved away from it. What do you do?
I know, earlier we were planning on leaving, but I kind of just want to stay here for a while. Just a little while.
Raymond's voice fills your soul, your ears, his tinkling of the keys, so masterful, so sensual, so soft, so perfect and precise. It's as if he's playing you.
I take a step forward.
I grab Archie's wrist. Baby, are you okay?
Just for a little while. It's our song. It's been so long since he doesn't sing much anymore. It's just a little while.
I thread my fingers into Archie's hand and just hold it there.
It's very
Don't
nice.
let it find the hole in your armor.
It's so difficult. It's I know.
That hand on the back of your neck, Lydia. So strong, so right, never fails to guide you exactly where you need to be guided. Never fails to support you, never fails to help you realize your vision.
I stiffen and straighten. And I slowly turn to Archie, so I am just barely whispering just for him to hear. No, baby. You know he'll kill us.
Yes, well, another night. Okay. And he squeezes your hand very tight and kind of brings it up to his chest, and he's like, another night, then. And then he turns away from the shadow.
Francis. It's 3 or 4 pages gone by. That story is so rich, so layered. You lose yourself in it so much. And it's been staring at you for so long, sitting there on your reading table, basically telling you you'll never finish. That rich, beautifully textured paper under your fingertips. You run your fingers along it just to feel it. It takes you so long to read a page because you just get lost in touching that paper, admiring that typeface, the precision of it, the rich dark of the ink. What do you do?
I think as these last pages are starting to come to an end, it is easy to get lost and having to reread paragraph after thinking, I've been waiting so long for this, and thinking too much about the book itself than actually reading the book. Growing a little frustrated having to start the page over again. And just getting a few sentences in and realizing I finally have the time to read this. I can't wait to tell Elliot. And trying to persevere, trying to finish this book.
If any of you want to resist the lure, you'll need to spend a willpower point. And if you do not, you will be drawn to the body. And I would like you to tell me if you don't spend the willpower point. Is anyone not spending it? Okay. The shadow envelops the body of the Bali like a shroud. Light starts to return, but for a moment, you see the extent of its shadow. You understand that while it remains here at the heart of this prison, that its tendrils extend all throughout Garrison. And you understand why Garrison has become the way it has become. You understand that there is a new master in Garrison now. It is called Bahamut. And as it takes away the body of its servant, Sma, lights return around you. The room grows warmer. You see all the inmates looking desiccated, lying on the ground, husks. All their lives and unlives drained out of them by this retreating shadow. And you know one thing for sure. As long as you are in Garrison, you are in its domain. And it will forever follow you. What do you do?
Is Silver still with us?
Yeah, he's on his knees and he's like hiding his face like this. He's like, not again, not again, not again. Don't let it in. Don't let it in. Don't
Hey.
let it in.
Silver, you ready to fucking go?
Are they gone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're gone.
the boogeyman's gone.
Oh, fucking Christ. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. Jesus, fuck.
Francis, it looks like we got a bus to catch.
The latest one, unfortunately, I think already went. We'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Shit. All right.
It is, in fact, as you start looking at it, getting very late. Dawn is but an hour or so away.
We got to get going. Are we staying together or are we splitting up?
What a fun slumber party that would be. I would like my own bed.
I would like to go home as well. Just,
Fine.
yeah.
Carter
Okay.
just starts walking out straight up. The Vanga bus is coming, and everybody's running, screaming their heads off. We're gonna kill them all off. Da, 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 da.
Silver says,
I
I'm
pick
not
up
staying
just
with
like
him.
a stick and I just huck it at the back of his legs. Like,
I don't play fetch.
you certainly look like you would, so let's all get in. Come on. Pile in.
Anyone
Fucking
put me and my cousin up for the night? For the day, sorry.
I got you.
I ain't going anywhere with fucking you, man.
Fine, there's space at the club. Just keep your hands to yourself, please.
Huh.
He looks at you, goes like this, and you feel very gently a pair of hands coming up behind your shoulders and just come around here and just sort of hard. They're doing the hover hands. They're not actually touching you, but like, no man, no hands, ma.
If your hands touch me, they come off. Okay?
Fair enough.
Don't play with her toys either.
Shut up, you.
No.
You will retreat on out of here. Eventually go your separate ways to your separate havens. My friends, I think we're going to take a break here. I think it's a good point to take a little break, and we'll come back and find exactly where you are, what's going on. But I would like one more thing from you all before we leave. During the break, I want you to think very seriously about whether or not your character was very tempted to take the offer of Bahamut. And send me a DM and tell me if your character was tempted or not. Okay? If you weren't, that's fine. You don't need to send me any DMs. My friends, we are going to take a short break here. Thanks so much for hanging out. All right, so in the first half, Lydia and Francis were lured downstairs where they met three witches, the Hecate, one of which was a salubri, who told you that the ongoing concerns about the Long Night started a long time ago, over 1,000 years ago in Constantinople, and it was just coming to fruition now, that there was some sort of ancient evil sleeping underneath Chicago, and that it was the thing that was controlling everything and everyone, including you, and so on and so forth. And Francis and Lydia also found out that apparently their fates are intertwined, and that the creator, or perhaps sire then, of Lydia is kept in some sort of imprisonment, and that Alex's character Francis has the key to this, and that the person who is holding the sire in some sort of bondage is an enemy of Alex's sire. There were also candles that were there, 4 black candles, 4 red ones. There was a black candle, red candle with a snake symbol on it, one with a wolf's paw on it, black candle and red candle with a moon symbol on it, and one with a magician symbol on it, dark magic symbol on it, and one of the snake candles, the black one, was extinguished. After that, Carter and Archie managed to remove silver from his crucifixion, and when they were rejoined by the other two, some dark infernal entity named Bahamut appeared, showed them their heart's desires, and offered them the opportunity to diablerize Sma the Bali, who was 7th gen, so it would have made a great snack. But everyone resisted the temptation, or did they? And that's what happened in the first part. Now they have realized that the best and only way to get into Chicago is to take a school bus, which I thought was great. But I also asked you all to send me a message about whether or not your character had felt really tempted to take the deal. I'm not going to name names. If you wrote to me and said your character was tempted, at some point, either tonight or early tomorrow morning, you're going to find in your possession a small vial of blood. You are going to instinctively understand that this is some of the Bali's blood. You are going to understand that if you drink it, you are essentially engaging in this bargain with Bahamut. Mechanically, what this means is that if you drink it, you will become infected by the Bali blood and will become kind of a sub-bloodline of your clan. You will gain the discipline of, how do you pronounce it? Demonian, which is the Bali discipline. However, it will make one of your clan disciplines become non-clan, which means you will keep those powers, but if you want to purchase more down the line, it's going to cost you as if it was an out-of-clan discipline. And Demonian is going to become your main discipline. If you drink it, you will also get the first power of Demonian for free, which I will post in our chat. What I need you to do is not now, because it doesn't matter right now. I don't want to see people seeing you go to your keyboard. So I want to keep this a little secret for now. At some point, send me a DM and tell me if you drink it or not. You should know that the Sabbat, by and large, looks down frowns upon infernalists. And so by drinking the blood, you will possibly open yourself up to some repercussions down the line. So you know. Okay, the details of everything else will come later. Just so you know, think on it. If you do drink it, let me know. Send me a DM at some point. It doesn't have to be right now. Send me a DM. Let me know that you drank it. And tell me which of your disciplines you are going to replace with Demonian. And I will, at some point while we're talking, copy paste the Demonian discipline in our chat so that you can see it. The first power allows you to see what someone really desires and what their weaknesses are. That's the first level that you'll get for free off the bat. And then you are tainted. You are tainted. Which leads you to think also this. Who made those vampires that were in the prison? Chances are pretty good, since this was the Bali's idea, that it was the Bali who created all those vampires. And everyone in the city who came by to get blood from one of those vampires unsuspectingly is now infected with Bali blood. So you understand now the level of power and the reach that Bahamut now has in Garrison, and that they are in fact the master of the city. And that there's probably a good number of kindred running around Garrison who are infected with Bali blood. So just what you think about as you go to sleep that night. My friends, I would like you to tell me what happens when you leave the prison and head to your respective havens. Where is the haven? What is it like? And what do you do there before retiring? You don't have a lot of time. There's about an hour before sunup, so you get maybe a half hour when you get home. But let's go around and tell me where you go to lair up and what you do once you're there. Carter, I assume you are with Vorena and Birdsong.
Yep, we head to my trailer just outside of Gary, double wide, because I'm fancy like that. And we double check and make sure that the aluminum foil's up all over the windows and the blackout curtains are in place. And, you know, it ain't nothing quite like topping off the night without a cold one. So,
Miller Lite, King of Beers.
Champagne of beer, sir.
Champagne of beers. At some point, Vorena will come to you and say, "Do you want me to do that thing you like?"
No, I ain't in the mood.
Oh. She retreats into the dark. Is there anything you want to do as Carter, like reach out to anyone, do anything, or you're just gonna go and sack out?
Carter takes that moment just in a little bit of the solitude that's there, even though he's got his two companions, and he just kind of thinks about what he was shown and what he thinks it represented versus what he knows and feels that it represented. And he preaches a lot to Archie about not letting them find the hole in your armor. And this motherfucker out of nowhere just happened to know mine. So she's obviously a weakness. One that needs to be removed. He just kind of thinks on that for a little bit.
I'll let Creep know. Next up, who would like to go next? I've posted the Demonian, the first power at least in the chat. I'll put the rest up at some point.
Oh,
Anyway,
go ahead, Alex.
No, I wait for you. Go ahead.
Everyone's like, So Archie has a somewhat of a decent sized apartment because during the pandemic, using the proceeds from the club, he's been able to purchase it. It's kind of like that apartment from Nash Bridges. It's almost like an industrial studio type deal, which is dope. Thank you. Nod of approval. I like that. He goes to where his bedroom is, and he funnels through an old record player, and he pulls out a record and he places it on the bed. And before he does, he sends a text message to Raymond, and it goes, thinking about you. And then he pauses and he goes, my friend, I hope this night treated you well. And then just sends that. And then he puts the record on, which is the song that he heard, which is the song that Raymond was singing, which was Only You by the Platters. And he lets that play while he goes to sleep.
Very fine, very fine. Alex, did you want to go next, or?
Yeah, sure. Have to eventually, anyways. I think I own a house somewhere around here, and I think prudently it might even be like a duplex, but it's probably one that's up and one that's down. So I live in the bottom half, and I've made it nice and cozy to my needs in particular. With that little bit time that I have left, I'm going to look at my book on my bookstand. Strongly consider starting it. And then instead also take out probably like a laptop, something like that, to send out some emails. Just two. One to Elliot. Very short, just saying, hey, sorry couldn't meet up. Sorry skipped class. Met up with some old friends. We'll see you soon. Send it off. And then the other email I would like to send would be to my mentor, Professor, last name I've spaced because I have the memory of a goldfish. Elizondo. Also pretty short, sweet, but I think that's expected. Very formal. Good morning, comma. And just right to the point of, do you know a Professor Hollins? Period. Sincerely, Francis Bancroft. And I think it's like in a little bit bigger font, and it's the cursive font. And then send that off.
Awesome. Anything else?
No, I think after that it's time for bed. Just gotta take care of business and get settled in for some sleep.
One thing that might occupy your mind a little bit as you lay down there is you remember a very brief moment that happened just as Silver went with who? Who was giving Silver a place to stay?
I have space at the club.
Okay. Just as they got out and were going to leave with Lydia, he looked at you and winked, and you heard a voice right here next to your ear that said, I know.
Regretting letting him go to the club now. It's fine. Everything will be fine.
Do you wish to eat him?
No other option. Immediately, yes.
You will get, at some point when you wake up, you will see responses from the people you messaged. From your professor, you will say, the message will be short. It will say, Dear Francis, actually he probably calls you, what's your family name?
Bancroft.
Dear Miss Bancroft. That is a name I've not heard mentioned in these halls in quite some time. Perhaps it would be best if you came to see me to discuss this matter. And from Elliot, you'll get a series of text. Elliot does this annoying thing that some people do where instead of writing you a block text, they like hit send every like line or every other line. So you wake up to about like 17 different messages, sort of detailing everything that went down in the class, everything you need to know to catch up and all that. And everything they did, they went out after and they went to this little cafe where a friend of theirs was playing guitar and singing that night, and they hung out. And she said that she met a new teacher who is coming to the campus for next semester. Her name is Charlotte Rojas, and she was very, very nice, and they hung out and talked for a good part of the evening. And she's not quite sure what Charlotte teaches, but expects to be trying to take her class as soon as they figure out what that class is.
Fair enough. Charlotte, ring a bell to me?
No.
Okay, thank you.
It may to some of our viewers. Like Charlie Day with the red line. I know Andrew. I know you know. Andrew knows everything. And in the end, Lydia, you are with Silver and his cousin Tito. He's like, hey, thanks for putting us up. Like, I don't want to put you out or anything, but do you live in a club?
I don't live in the club.
Because we're going in a club.
Yeah, I understand.
Hey, I'm not gonna yuck your yum.
Okay, great. And I throw open the door and just walk in.
I've never been here before. I heard this place though. Don't you got like some kind of wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of sex club thing downstairs?
All the rumors are true.
Really? Because I heard some pretty wild rumors about this place.
Oh yeah, what have you heard?
Stuff, you know, like stuff.
Huh? Like
Yeah.
stuff? You just heard stuff.
I heard stuff. Well, you know,
Oh.
you own the place, so you know, right?
Just curious what you've heard. That's all.
Oh, nothing untoward. Just, you know, a little action here and there, a little vampire on not vampire action, things like that.
Well, you gotta have something to do in Garrison.
So, sorry, say that again. I was coughing and I totally didn't hear you.
I said, well, you gotta have something to do in Garrison.
Yeah, I try not to be in Garrison. That's what I do. I try to not be here. I would not
well,
be here.
not
in
all
fact,
of
if
us
it was
are Ravnos who are so lucky.
That's true. That is very true. But, you know, I'm sure you make do.
I certainly do. Here, and I head towards the back room and open up the door. And while I do very briefly consider putting them in one of the communal sex rooms, I don't trust them not to break anything. So I do find one of the spare rooms that has a couple beds in there. It's small, it's well appointed. Lydia's got taste. There's been money sunk into this place, so.
Do you have a spare blanket? I get cold during the day.
Sure. I'm going to get him an extra one.
Thanks.
The whole back room, like, there are no windows whatsoever built into this area, so everything is sealed off from the sun.
Very cozy. I like it. They will eventually turn in, no problems. Anything else you want to do before daylight comes?
Boys, just behave yourselves. You're guests, remember. I would
Right.
say if you need anything, come find me, but
Don't. I get it.
don't.
We're good. You know, we've been hanging on. I've been crucified for the past couple of weeks, so you know it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna hit the sack. You good, Tito? Yeah, I'm good, cuz. All right.
Yeah, I bet your ass is pretty sore. And I close the door.
What did she mean by that? It's a human joke. Don't worry about it. What do you mean a human joke? Am I not human? Oh, fuck. We're gonna have to have the talk, aren't we? What talk? Oh, fuck.
make my way back to my room and I open the door and I assume that I see Gretchen sitting there.
She has fallen asleep. She is curled up in the armchair, and you can see a book opened in her lap and a half-drunk cup of tea. And she is just kind of curled up like a cat and sleeping. You can just catch the glint of the gold around her collar in the very, very soft light that is in the room currently.
I smile at her. I walk over and I move the book.
She's reading War and Peace.
Pop my shoes off and I thread one arm under her knees and one along the small of her back, and I pick her up and just put her on the bed.
She stirs a little bit. Sire, I'm sorry. And she tries to get up and get into her kneeling position.
And then I just press my clawed fingers into her chest and push her back down.
Sorry, I must have fallen asleep. I just can't seem to get through this book, the last 30 pages or so.
It's all right.
No one can. Are you
Could be
okay?
worse.
You
Could be into
smell
the
kind of
chest.
funny.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I thought maybe we'd try something a little different tonight. How's that sound?
Sure. Do you want me to get you something clean to wear? You're all dusty, and there's a twig here. And she reaches and she pulls a little twig off of your... Yes, sir.
I stand back up and I pull the dress up over my head and throw it to the side.
She struggles over to her knees.
And I push her back down so she's laying back down. I didn't say to get into position.
I'm sorry, sire. What should I do?
You just lay right there, sweetness. And I crawl in on top of her and just start kissing along her collarbone and down her stomach and down to her thigh. And she's expecting what I normally do, which is to feed off of her femoral artery. And I bite just a little bit and draw a little bit of blood.
She gives a little gasp.
As I draw just a little bit of blood, I don't actually feed, and this would be where we would pan to the fireplace, as she is going to treat her sweet little girl very, very nicely.
Oh, so sweet. Not that heartwarming scene, my friends. The sun rises over a city that you know to be infected by infernal powers, which, well, frankly, put the Sabbat sort of to shame. But the sun doesn't do much to clean this place out. The streets are as filthy and as filled with dispirited, haunted people. Once the sun goes down, night comes back around. You all stir from your slumber. Some of you will find in your possession, somehow, in a place you can miss it, a small ampule of blood that you know somehow comes from the Bali. Some of you will take it, perhaps some won't. Darkness settles down over the city, and you come to life. There's a knock at the double wide door, Carter.
I answer it in a pair of stained tidy whities and my hat.
You see, standing a few feet away from the door, wearing his traditional hoodie and white face mask, is Ligature, the Nosferatu Black Hand.
Yeah. Let me go find some pants.
Why?
Well, I mean, if you don't mind looking at all this, I'm good. Come on in.
He walks in, looks at Vorena and Birdsong, stirring, and he looks at you and goes, tell them to leave.
All right. Hey, you two.
Yeah, got it. Above our pay grade, thank the fucking gods.
Yep. Go on a beer run.
Birdsong comes out as Vorena steps by Ligature. She goes, you know, whatever's wrong with your face, I could fix it.
Verena, just stop. Just no.
I'm being nice.
I know you're trying to, but there are just some things you can't fix. Just go.
She seems very dispirited. She leaves. Ligature never stops looking at you the entire time. You found the Ravnos?
Yep. We found him. Apparently, Ophelia is with someone named Bahari. That name ring a bell.
Yeah.
Also, more to the point, you might have a little bit of a bigger problem here locally.
Oh, you mean the Infernalist?
Yep.
Yeah, we've decided that we're done with this place. Devil can have it. Bahari is a snake, follower of Set, hiding amongst you. But she's no longer your concern.
Ophelia is no longer our concern.
No, Ophelia is very much her concern. Carter, we've decided that we no longer care to help the Cardinal, or the Sabbat for that matter. We're gathering all our forces. We'd like to get Ophelia back. Gehenna is upon us. Soon there's going to be a great beckoning to a war in the old lands. Many will be called. If you find Ophelia, we want you to ensure her return to us in Karachi. If you do, you can come with her. Leave this place. Sword of Cain has greater work to do. The real work. The one we were created for. Gehenna is coming.
So then I guess you won't need this. And he holds up the vial that he has.
That smells tainted.
I know, but I figured your black wizards might get some use out of it.
He reaches, takes it, puts it in his pocket. Noted.
Do you know anything else about these two licks that I have running around with me?
Oh, you mean Francis and Archie?
Yeah.
Some kind of pet project of the Cardinals?
Are they required?
The Cardinal seems to think so. The Cardinal has his own plans, but his plans are very narrow and ultimately unimportant in the face of Gehenna.
Couldn't agree more.
Use them. Get Ophelia back. be wary, there's something in Chicago. Something that's been dormant there for a while. It's got a hands in a lot of pies right now. It's making moves. You can't really trust anyone or anything. The Cardinal's plans are his own and no longer matter. Prove your loyalty to the Black Hand, Carter, and we will welcome you. But bring Ophelia. Showing up without Ophelia would only get you killed.
There is something to note. And if you are willing to help in any way, I would greatly appreciate it.
You can ask.
Silver said something about Ophelia being thralled to Bahari. I need to know where she's at and what exploitable assets she may have.
You are referring to Bahari or to Ophelia?
Bahari. Ophelia is apparently enslaved to her. So I need to find a way to get to Bahari. She got any kids, property, anything that we can exploit?
There is one who survived, much like yours did, in that ill-fated raid into Chicago some years back. One of 4,
Is she
yours
important?
included.
Is she important or expendable?
Everyone is expendable. Leave Bahari to me. If Bahari is no longer an issue, then the blood bond is no longer an issue. You find Ophelia. And when you have her, you bring her to Karachi.
Walking or in a box?
Whatever makes the process simpler.
I like it.
I'll fuck it up, Carter.
Oh, I won't.
There are big things ahead. He turns to leave, opens the door, stops, looks over at you. You're ready for this, right?
I was made for this.
Do what you need to do. Get Ophelia. If the Cardinal interferes, well, he's no longer important. He leaves. Birdsong steps in. We good? You still alive, boss?
We're just peachy keen.
No, fuck. Thought for sure he killed you.
Why?
I don't know.
Let me ask you something, Birdsong.
Sure thing.
When you're not moonlighting like a sadistic clown, where do your loyalties truly lie? To yourself? To me? Or to the Sabbat?
Back first, amigo.
Good man. Now go get Verena. I want her to do that thing I like.
You know, because you're wanted, she's not going to do it, right?
Exactly, that's the point.
You guys kind of got this love-hate relationship thing going, I see.
You seen what she can do with her throat, right?
Fuck, don't remind me.
It's like a
I'm still
Pez
fucking
dispenser.
nightmare. Oh, God. Oh, why do you have to remind me of that shit?
Because my existence is to torment you.
Well, you know, I guess I did earn that torment. They kill a whole lot of people.
That you did, and you're gonna get to again. So here's the skinny. We're on the lookout for an Asimite.
Oh god, that because that always goes fucking well.
Right? I mean, you love a challenge.
Yeah.
Long and short, you two knuckleheads understand. Archie and Francis are expendable. Lady is not. There's plans for her.
Man, your dating life is fucking complicated as fucking hell, man.
Oh, no. No. We're going to get her to eat the Cardinal.
Oh. That's what the Italians call coup de théâtre, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Like a sudden, like, reversal of,
Yeah.
misfortune.
You are dumb as a box of rocks, but I love
Yeah,
you.
pretty much. I know.
We're going to make her ride that beast like nobody's business. And she'll be ugly, just like me.
Okay, boss. He steps out of the double wide. Archie.
Gonna make me roleplay after that?
You don't have to. You just have to tell me that you go to the club and that's fine.
No, let's get into it. What do you got?
You wake up and you smell coffee.
Kind of like wriggles a little bit in his bed and gets up and he's like, oh, all right. Follows the scent.
You find Raymond in the kitchen. The record from last night is playing really low, not enough to wake you up. He's wearing your favorite apron and he is baking something. And he's got coffee on. Morning, sunshine.
Morning. What do you got going on?
Oh, just making and he opens the oven and he looks inside a little bit. It's almost ready. I have paella cooking. Some coffee here.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, you special occasion? Was there a sale on seafood?
No, it's just your message this morning felt a little maudlin, like perhaps you were feeling a little bit under the weather, a little bit alone. So I thought I'd come and we could have dinner together before you go to the club.
Am I that easy to read?
Well, as a spotlight, difficult to see in the dark. You vibrate, you have colors, you put a lot out there, Archie. You are someone who lives your internal life very externally, and for someone who is attuned to it, it is very much like having an ear for music. As soon as the note is not quite right, you hear it right away, and grates on you right away, and you know you have to come and give it a little bit of tender loving care and a little twist and a little prod and just put it back in place.
Knowing that he goes on these rants often, Archie just kind of silences himself and just looks at him, and he's just like, exactly.
So tell me,
away with words.
what's got you out of tune? And he sits down and brings you a big cup of black coffee. And then he puts a lot of cream and sugar in it like you like it.
Exactly. Sweet like me.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, she kind of like holds the sides of it, kind of like acknowledging the warmth of it, and he goes, has anything been asked of you that just doesn't make sense? But you have a strong sense of responsibility to complete it.
Of course. That's sort of a very good definition of life, isn't it?
Life. Yeah. It's really nothing. It's just more so of, You know how I can collect strays. I'm working with someone, a series of someones. One of them very sweet, very spacey, as some would say, but extremely intelligent, and that worries me.
It
And then
worries you.
another, those are the most dangerous people, the ones who can't collect their thoughts well enough to make a cohesive one, but are smart enough to have a plan for every single one of them.
Kind of like listening to very edgy jazz. It's going everywhere at the same time, and you think it's just gonna fall apart. The trumpet is doing one thing, the piano another, the bass doing something else, but you know that underneath it there is that through line, that everyone is still following, that one song that everyone in the band hears and that they are adhering to. And it's not falling apart, and it's not going out of control. It is, in fact, being held by the most infinitesimal through line.
Controlled chaos and its own beauty.
But you can't have it without that through line. If you don't have that, if you don't have that base, it just is pure chaos. And then it might as well not exist if everyone's doing their own thing and no one's listening to anybody else. But if there is that one through line, that one little melody that comes through, that unites all the others, even if they are all doing their own thing, and sound like it's like a bunch of solos going on at the same time. If there is that little melody that underlines all of it, that all the others circle back to, and keeps it from being noise.
Noise. Yeah. Noise is the best way to describe it. I'm trying to find my through line. It's like I have this melodic, chaotic jazz, as you say, and I'm trying to produce that through line, and then there's somebody that comes in and just kicks over the drums, which is always frustrating.
Yes, but maybe you are having difficulty finding the through line because you are the through line.
I don't know if my tempo is steady enough.
I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit than that. You have undergone massive changes. I don't pretend to understand all of them in the past few years, but you still maintain the club. You still draw these people to you. You still manage to keep all of it going, even as everything else around you is falling apart. Your friend Lydia seems to rely on you well enough.
No. The reliance of Lydia is more so on my end to her. But it's a give and take friendship. I love her very much.
That is what good band members do. They leave space for each other to explore, show off their ability with the instrument, and then return to that melody. The thing to do, perhaps, Archie, is play a little louder so that the others can hear you.
My dear Raymond, I know you're correct, but that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that my solo may be too loud to the point to where I may not be able to tamper it down.
You won't know until you try.
He stands up from the table, and he goes over to the record, and he turns up a little bit louder, and he goes, "Come dance with me."
I thought you'd never ask
tonight.
He joins you
before he goes to the club.
Excellent. Alex, you woke up to all those emails. Do you respond to any of them? Very fitting that your character deals with people through electronic devices.
As much as possible. Yes and no. I don't think I respond to Elliot. There's a lot there to digest, and frankly, I'm not sure if I have anything worth saying back. So I think that gets the soft ghost of, all right, we touch base. Wishing I had something to share, some part of my night to share, and then that eating a little piece of me too. Like, oh, what do I care? It's fine. It's fine. The email back to the professor, though, is I think still just about as curt of understanding and formal again. And I will be in town this evening. Perhaps a time to meet up for drinks, and suggest a 10 p.m. time frame for that. I would also like to try to make a phone call if I can.
Absolutely. Who to?
To Bahari.
The phone rings, and as always, it is answered by one of her ghouls. Carl. Hello.
Hi, Carl. Is Bahari around?
Yes. She is bathing right now. Would you like to wait, or?
I imagine she can do both.
Quite possibly. You hear nothing for a little while, and then you hear liquid splashing, and then you hear Bahari's voice. Francis.
Good
It's
evening.
so nice to hear from you. It's been a while.
I wish I came bearing happier news.
Oh no. I can see your brow furrowing right now. What troubles you, my sweet Francis?
I think we will be paying you a visit here very shortly.
By we, you mean?
Those that which I keep company currently.
And will this be a friendly visit?
Depends on Ophelia, I imagine.
Ophelia. Prize pet. Do you need her?
The Cardinal does.
Is he still playing his silly games?
It would seem so.
You know, he still hates me for something I did to him 1,000 years ago. I really think that man should learn to let go.
He doesn't strike me as the type to let go of a grudge.
No.
And that seems to be the type that's around me currently as well.
Well, are your friends a problem? I'm sure I could have Ophelia pay them a visit. You know, I would do anything for you.
And I wouldn't necessarily consider them friends.
Well, no, there's no such thing in life, of course. There are useful people and not useful people. Are they useful to you still?
And taking a pause, I think I'm sitting in my own armchair, legs kicked out. Haven't quite put on my own vestments yet. A little bit more casual, hoodie, yoga pants, that kind of thing. I still think there's potential, but I'm not sure about use at this point. Excuse me.
And the Cardinal, is he still involved with the professor?
Yes, he is. At least he's trying to be. While the others are off to rescue Ophelia, he would prefer that I find the professor.
Well, I can't help you with the professor, but if finding Ophelia would make things easier for you.
I think it would. At the very least, it would distract them enough for me to get done what I need to do.
Very well. I will have someone contact you in Chicago. I will let you know where you can find Ophelia. I will make sure that Ophelia is amenable.
What happens after that, though? I mean, what happens.
Well, I think perhaps it's time to put the Cardinal out of our misery. Get Ophelia near him, and then perhaps it's time for you to return home.
Home. I'd like that.
Yes. We have many things to do. There's a new temple being set up currently in Chicago. Your sister is seeing to that.
She's always good at that sort of thing.
She'll need someone who knows more, though, someone who is better at all of it than she is, and I was thinking that perhaps you could join her there, and the two of you could, well, grow our interests in the city.
I appreciate that you still trust me to do so. I know we had some
Of course, child.
prospects out here that were tougher eggs to crack than I expected.
I feel there's something in this city that's in opposition and is very difficult to deal with. I'm about ready to give up on it. Chicago is a much juicier plum, and now that we have our foothold with your sister Helena, well, I think perhaps we put all our eggs in that basket.
Of course. Thank you. And it was good to hear your voice again.
Oh, pleasure was all mine. Get Ophelia near the Cardinal and then return to me.
Consider it done.
You, as always, are the jewel in my crown.
And like a moment to be flustered by that. I think every time it has been said to her, it's as if it's the first time I've ever heard it. And always have it at a loss of words. And so I think there's just a thanks and I hang up the phone. After all these years, still have yet to find a way to appreciate that appropriately.
And after that,
I will find my finest sweater vest. I will make sure that my glasses are clean and head out the door to the club.
Lydia, what's that look on your face?
Kato does not want to let you in the club. I can't, my face is so loud.
You wake up. Anything in particular you want to do as you arouse? You should all, by the way, take off 1 blood point. You all need to spend a blood point to wake up.
I rouse. Gretchen has clearly attempted to cuddle during the day, and I have done everything in my power to not let that happen.
As you do everything in your power not to let that happen, you will eventually wake up to find her kneeling next to the bed, having understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get up out of the... Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. When you wake up, you'll see her raise her head and look at you and say the same thing she says every night. almost ever since the beginning. Sire's tonight the night.
I swing my legs over the edge of the bed and lean in really close to her. And I give her just a very soft kiss on the lips. And I bite down just a little bit on it. And I suck on it. And I go, who knows? Maybe you're in luck. And I stand up and start getting ready.
Is this an answer you've given her before?
This is not an answer I have given her before.
You see something different in her eye. You see guarded optimism, a bit of joy, a little bit of hope. Takes you a while to recognize that one. It's been a while since you've seen it.
You've been so very well behaved, and I'm so very proud of you.
Thank you, sire.
You don't have to be in position all night.
She'll get up. May I help you get dressed?
Yes.
She will do so.
I'll let you pick the dress.
Where are you going tonight? What are you doing?
Is that Gretchen? asking me?
That's her. Yeah, Gretchen has asked her. She wants to know what to get you.
Well, I think I'm gone to Chicago.
Oh. Business or pleasure?
Yes.
The pleasure of business.
She immediately pulls out your leather pants.
Good choice. Very good choice.
She pulls out this white shirt that you have with puffy sleeves and a little black vest that goes over it. That's got a little golden pocket watch that you keep with the chain that slides right in there. She helps you get dressed. She gets your shit kicker boots, guides your feet in them. Then she goes to a drawer, opens it, takes out one of your most wicked favorite flick knives, brings it over, comes up behind you, puts her hand in your pants and just along the small of your back and pulls them back and slides the knife and clasps it there. And then comes back around. I think you look ready for Chicago.
Good girl. And I tie my hair up.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
You get a text message from Archie. When you're finished, come by the office.
Gretchen, love.
Yes, sire.
I want you to go into my wardrobe and I want you to pick your very favorite dress. And I want you to put it on for me.
Yes, sire. Right away.
Good.
Which collar should I wear?
I will let you choose.
Very
And I walk
excited.
out.
You walk out of your chambers. You open the door. Verena standing there.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
How did you get in?
Your door person let me in.
God damn it. Well, nice to see you. I think.
You know what I could do for you, right? I could. And she reaches very slowly and takes your hands. Very slowly, still reaches for them. I won't do anything. She takes your hands and puts them on her face. And as she starts moving your hands, her face changes and it's like you're sculpting it. And she's like, you can make me into anyone you want.
That's really very nice of you to offer, but and I pause for a minute.
I could look like anyone you want. You would do it with your hands.
Huh. I will keep that in mind.
Don't wait too long. I'm not very patient.
Okay. I think it's like the first time that Lydia has actually felt unsettled.
She turns around, walks away.
Jesus. Wipe my hands off a little bit. I head to the office, knocking.
Archie's in there on the record player. Ne me quitte pas, il faut oublier tout, peut s'oublier, qui s'ennuie déjà, oublier le temps.
And he's just standing by the record player and he's kind of just gently swaying. And he turns around and he goes, okay, I know our time is brief before we have to ship off, but sit with me for a moment if you could.
Yeah, sure. Let me lock the door. And I'm going to lean out. Oh my gosh, so sorry. Who is my bouncer? What is their name again?
Petra.
Petra, thank you. I call to Petra. Petra, please make sure that no one comes in or out of here until you see me again.
Okay.
Thank you. I close and lock the door.
There's already a couple of guys in... never mind.
In the office?
No.
Oh.
In one of the rooms.
Oh,
Brothers,
yeah.
I think, maybe?
I don't know. Just let them do whatever they're going to do. Just don't let them leave yet.
Right.
I close and lock the door. Archie.
Just sit with me for a second. And like he sits behind like the office desk and there's just a comfortable chair in front of it. And you can tell that like normally he's very vibrant and his personality matches his clothes, but he's in all stark black. And just like the small glint of a gold chain that he never takes off. And he sits there and he's leaning forward and he goes, Lydia, do you struggle with power?
I mean, I have to contend with Carter, so yeah, I would say I struggle with power.
I'm very happy that you brought that up. Carter, brief history between you two. Jaded lover, ex-boyfriend, somebody you used to fuck and then fought with, what is it?
Yeah, somebody that I slept with once, hearing Carter's voice in the back of her head going twice. It was just, you know how Garrison is, boring. So.
Yes. It reminds me of people from my past, distant past, but unfortunately is still prevalent in our future. I don't have to sit here and tell you the struggles that I've had personally as a man. And he has a way, he has a smell, the way he moves, thinks, and speaks. It's reminiscent of that, and you can see him kind of gritting his teeth a little bit, repressing anger. I do not struggle with power because I hold it in the places that are important with me, but I'm finding myself struggling now. And he reaches into his pocket and he takes out the vial of blood and he sets it on the table. I've never had something called to me so strong. And in a moment, everything that I could have wanted was right there. And then in an instant, it went all away. And part of it was your voice, but mostly it was his. And it wasn't good.
What do you mean?
Your friend stirs something in me that I've tried to keep very hidden for quite a long time. Grace, decorum. It's prevalent within our business. On both of our sides of the business, but your friend... Should I be concerned?
I come around to the other side of the desk and kind of lean up against it, and I take one of your hands in my hand and I say, I do think that Carter is cause for concern.
Should I be concerned?
I think he will, if given the opportunity, kill you.
Thank you for confirming my already very strong suspicion. We've been friends for a while, yes?
Yes.
Then you've been friends with him for a little bit longer. Loose friends.
I wouldn't call him a friend.
Your friend has quite a beast inside of him, and it's extremely impressive. I'm afraid sooner than not he'll have to meet mine.
Have I seen Archie's beast before?
Once. At the beginning of our friendship.
I smile slightly and say, Oh, but I missed that, Archie.
I know. But that's what keeps it special. If I just walked around with my dick hanging out all the time, it wouldn't be as great.
I suppose there's some sense in that, but like you said, you have decorum, grace. Those are things inherent in you. I don't think making a choice like this would necessarily do away with all of that. You know how to keep your dick firmly tucked in your pants.
Did it for 10 years on stage. What's a little bit longer. And he clasps your hand a little bit tighter and he goes, I'm only as good as the company I keep, and the company I keep is endless. And he looks you dead in your eye and gives you a smile, and then the smile fades away. And he's not wearing his glasses. And he looks dead at you and he goes, I love you very much. And then the softness in his face, like, kind of just releases and he goes, I will hurt your friend. And it's stone. Like, yeah.
I believe you.
Fine. Well, quick business tonight, and then we are taking a bus to Chicago. I'm glad we had this talk. I do truly love you so much, and I appreciate you for listening. Then he takes the vial and puts it in his pocket.
I respect your choices. You know I always have.
I haven't made one yet. What is this?
Okay.
What are we doing? What is this? Is this Chanel? A lot of ruffles tonight.
Thank you.
I love it.
I let the redhead pick it out.
Oh. Special night, or you're just feeling gracious?
I think it's time for a little change.
Well,
as this is going on, by the way, I think Francis is arriving at the club. You do work there, so you let yourself in, no problem, and Petra would not stop you from going in.
Like into the office or just into the club itself?
Well, you get to the club, you tell me where you want to go.
I think she would try to go to the office because the club doesn't necessarily have a whole lot. If no one else is there, might as well go do some business. So yeah, I would try to at least approach the office and walk in.
You know when you walk into a room and you know you just interrupted something?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll be quick. And I'm gonna make myself the biggest nuisance possible. I'm gonna try and grab a pen.
Damn Petra.
Well, she works here.
What the fuck did I say?
She fucking works here.
I don't care. Owners, employee.
You'll never know. I wasn't even here.
Just fucking tell her to get out.
She's still important to the business. Anyway, I just thank you for listening. And I'm sorry of the abrasiveness of the conversation, but I felt like it needed to be said anyway. Francis, how's school?
Archie, school. Take a look at you. School's fine. I'm taking a really interesting course about the history of agriculture in Western Europe, and specifically, and it's really quite fascinating the methods that they use back that far ago. And
oh, Jesus God,
it's fine. No, it's fine. It's great. Are we really taking a bus? Like a Miss Frizzle bus? We couldn't get.
It's not big and yellow. No. It does say the school name on the side of it, but it's like white or gray, and the students, it's fine. It's not like we're going to elementary school or anything.
Fine.
It's quick.
Where's Carter?
Where's Carter?
It's over with.
Carter is silent.
Yeah.
It's the night.
Carter is sitting outside the club in his truck, looking at Birdsong. Listen. Back my play. You understand me?
Of course.
As he gets out and walks in, he pops claws on one hand and rakes his face, and then makes sure that his hands are clean before putting his glasses and his hat back on.
Jesus. The fuck you playing at?
He just goes and walks into the club, doing his best to kind of hide his face as he comes in.
As you walk in, Petra, you hear Petra's voice going,
Where the fuck is Lydia?
Fucking what, am I her keeper? Just wait here, I'll tell them you're here.
Get out of my way. And he like,
Hey buddy.
he doesn't even, he just pushes past, and you can see him like actively sniffing at the air.
Inside the office, you would have video cameras. You would see that this is going on outside in the main hall. Petra comes up and puts a hand on her shoulder. She goes, hey buddy, I got a job to do here, all right? Like, you want to fucking calm down? I'll tell them you're here.
He just like turns and like does like this little number like this to show his like scarred, bleeding face, and then puts his shit back down. Get out of my way.
What are the rest of you doing in the
here?
Oh, look. It looks like Spudhud has graced us with his presence.
I didn't have a meat delivery today.
You
Tell me what
might
you want to do.
go get him.
Fuck. And I go out through the office and go, Carter, what are you doing?
In the office.
What are you in my fucking office? Everybody's in my fucking office. Fine.
Carter comes in and he's visibly shaking as he's coming in. And he shuts the door behind him. And he pulls off his hat and glasses, and you can see a rake mark across his face where there's blood still coming down from it. The Cardinal was not pleased with how the situation was handled at the blood bank. Lydia is in charge. Now it's your ass when they fuck up.
Funny. I mean, truly, you've never looked better, Cart.
It's an improvement.
He just puts his hat back on And like he puts his hat back on and like fucking grabs his glasses, right? And puts it back on. And like you can see him physically focusing on healing as he's trying to stitch the wounds closed, but it's taking longer than normal, which means that this kind of damage is not normal damage.
I shoot a look to Lydia, one of those like...
I match it and return it. So the kitty cat got his claws out and scratched your face up as punishment for your fuck up at the blood bank?
Yep, my fuck up for letting this dipshit fucking take lead, trying to trust a team to account for their abilities, and look what it fucking got me. I don't care anymore, Lydia. It's your ass now, not mine. So let's see how Chicago goes.
What dipshit? Who are you pointing at?
You, let's talk it through. Let's try and make deals with the fucking devil.
Okay, NASCAR. I mean, we could just go in there blazing guns and just ripping everyone's arms to shred. What would we have learned? Nothing.
We weren't there to learn anything. We were just there to get silver.
Yeah, and we got him. And what did we learn?
Nothing important.
Here's what I don't get, Carter. The job was to get silver, to gain information on where this person is. We did that. Why is the Cardinal upset with you?
Not with me, with us.
Why is the Cardinal upset with us? We did what he asked.
Real simple. You see, when I said we need to get silver and leave because the Cardinal doesn't like fucking Satanists, let alone blood-sucking fucking Satanists, you wanted to stick around and you wanted to talk. And guess what? He was watching the whole time. Because little fucking fact for you, he sees everything I see. I'm in my own vernaculum with him, and he has his own power over me.
Then your vision is a little bit clouded. What were you going to say? Please.
You heard me, you little lick. You little barely off the tit child. Trying to play fucking bloodsucker to a goddamn group of monsters, and you act like a child, clinging to a mortal.
You want to say that to my face, you inbred piece of shit?
I just did.
Get a little bit closer. I'd like to kiss you when I kick your ass.
I mean, buy me dinner.
Yeah, you're about a Happy Meal away from a good ass whipping.
Don't give a shit. Lydia's in charge.
Don't give a shit. Lydia's in charge. Fucking.
Oh, I'm in charge? Oh, I'm in charge? Oh, I'd love to see Archie shred you.
By all means, let's dance. I gives a fuck.
Space of opportunity. Space and opportunity, Kansas.
All of that said, we do have a blood bond. And a job. So, how about we put our petty squabbles aside? Maybe heal up a little bit first. And get the fuck to Chicago.
He's gonna eviscerate you. And Carter just walks out of the office.
Oh, I always did hate it when he was in a mood.
I have never seen somebody's mascara run so quickly.
While that was all happening, I was out on my phone. Keeping kind of an ear out, but not really. And I want to take a screenshot of a text message and forward it on to Carter.
Forward it to Carter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will take care of that.
Okay.
Pack your shit, kids.
And I'm just gonna say maybe I probably should have told you sooner to just maybe down a little. We are going to be going to campus, or at least they want us to think we're going to campus. You guys look fine. Never mind.
Do you want me to get my book bag?
I mean, I may have a pencil around here somewhere.
It couldn't hurt, probably. But you all know what you're doing, and you wouldn't want to do anything that would put us in a position we wouldn't want to be in, right? Of getting caught the one way to Chicago.
We're interns. I don't know. Foreign exchange students. We're on the night crew. We're adults taking college classes. Whatever it needs to be said.
Sounds good.
Yeah, isn't that your area of expertise?
I just tried to give some advice, and it seemed as if folks, maybe just the tension and the here. And I'm gonna grab the clipboard that I previously had grabbed earlier with like a legal pad on it. I'm gonna give it to Archie. That's good enough. And was that sarcasm with the book bag?
It was at first, but no, it's not anymore.
Just thank you for being reasonable. I don't think Carter's gonna help with this.
Oh, no, not at all. And just to be safe, and I look her right in the eyes and I go, keep an eye out for him. He's dangerous.
Neil?
Not like that.
So, Carter, you step out with Birdsong into the back. He's like, fuck happens now, boss? You are...
Oh, you're muted.
We're gonna see what happens. Ain't none of them getting out of Chicago alive. We'll feed them to the Asimite before that happens.
All right, man. You sure about that?
Listen,
Cardinal ain't gonna be happy.
let me chew on your ear a little bit. And I just wrap my arm around him and like just start walking out of the club with him.
Point of order.
Yep.
Lydia, in my brain, would be looking at the video monitors to find out where Carter went.
You
Outside.
see him exiting the building.
Yeah, outside.
Do I see I'm assuming there's a video camera outside the club.
At the door, yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to see if I caught any of it.
Well, you wouldn't hear anything. Like, I don't think your
Sure.
video cans would record sound. So you could see the two of them go out and talk, but I think that would be really
Okay.
not out of the ordinary. So you go outside. You want to just tell them what Ligature said, Kurt, or what's the deal?
Mhm. Pretty much. I'm just gonna low key fill him in, talking as redneck as possible to confuse the educated people in the group, and to make sure that he understands what the actual play is.
Like,
It's a NASCAR post-race interview.
he says, hey man, I don't need to know what we're doing as long as you know what we're doing. Is Ganna really fucking coming?
Yeah, man. It's really coming.
Shit. I gotta switch my insurance to Geico.
Nah, I don't think they cover that. They only cover acts of God.
Well, We all know he's nowhere around here.
Mm-hmm.
Before we finish here, I'll go back around and see what everybody else wants to do. If you want a final thing, Francis, what's Francis going to do? So I'm assuming you're going to pack up and head to Chicago, and we'll do that next game. But here, finalizing the evening here, what's Francis going to be doing?
I wish I had something showy and fun. I think she just keeps herself in the background, watching the dynamics shift, change, the tensions, the sideways glances probably between various parties, and just making a mental note of those ties that are building.
Okay. I'm debating whether we should say what your text was that you got.
I can share it.
I think the audience should know, and I will trust Ian and Kato not to metagame out of it.
Probably like that last shot then is just double checking my phone. It was a screenshot of a text from Aster that said, Cardinal says Archie is to lead the pack into Chicago. And I just sent it with a text, FYI, smiley face.
Little old you? Does Archie have anything else you want to do before we hang up our hats?
Just goes on the daily nightly business at the club. At one point he does let Raymond know, like, I'm gonna be going out of town for a little bit. I really don't want to talk about it. You know, just keep doing what you're doing, and then just kind of leaves it at that.
Awesome. Lydia?
I walk into my bedroom just to check on Gretchen one last time before I head out.
I answered your DM, by the way. Sorry, I just saw it.
And I stand there and I look at her, and she's dressed in one of my dresses. And she is wearing a matching black collar. And I look at her and I say, I'm sorry for this being so terribly informal as I'm running out the door, but I think it's just about time, don't you?
You see her chest starts to heave as her breathing quickens and her eyes are open up, and you can see this sort of hope swelling, etc. But, you know, she is submissive, so there's a part of her that expects that this is part of a game of some sort, so you can tell that she's still kind of being a little guarded.
It's time, darling.
Sire?
Mm-hmm.
Sire.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, my friends, on that note, are you gonna embrace her?
Fuck yeah, I am.
On that note of Lydia procreating right here on our screens.
Just, you know, before I go on a little trip to Chicago.
My friends, thank you so much. We will end here for tonight. We will proceed to Chicago by next game. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you.